Yeah, what do you do? Section 8?
You say, you lie. Go in the house. Go in the house. Go in the house. Go in the house. What? Touch me. Touch me on my. What you talking about? Fucking.
Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I hope you're staying safe and doing well wherever you are. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Amy and this is Trending Pulse Worldwide. And today we are talking about a story that has shocked a lot of people across the internet. A white woman who's reportedly the girlfriend of a police chief was caught on camera confronting two black teenagers right outside their home. And what happened next has stirred serious conversations about race, power, and boundaries in neighborhoods. Now, I want you to watch the clips I've gathered from different Americans reacting to this situation. And they are just as upset as most of us are. And after the videos, I'll be back to break everything down. So let's take a look.
I saw that Karen that came on the porch and put her hands on a few minors during an argument. Yeah, she walked on their porch and started swinging on everybody. I don't even know what the argument was about, but what I did hear the Karen say, she was like, this is my house, this is my estate, we're the police. Turns out she is the New York police chief's woman. That's why she said we are the police. If your man is the New York police chief, why are you outside trying to embarrass him? Like, what are you doing? How y'all living here? How y'all living here? What are you guys on Section 8? Y'all on Section 8? Young boys on the porch are just like, just go home. Go in your house. Go home. Like, and that's valid because you're crashing out. Like, go in the house. Thank you. She like buffed up her shoulders and started walking towards their porch, walked on the porch, and started swinging. I tell you, they made that lady take a nap. I'm talking about N-A-P-Z, straight Z. She was knocked out for a little second. And then when she finally got up and regained consciousness, she still was taking too long to get up, trying to make it seem like it was more serious than it was, like she couldn't get up. Video, they like, get up, get off my porch, get off my porch. You never should have came on this porch and hit nobody. Get off my porch. And I got it on camera. And I'm glad they got it on camera because people like her will antagonize you, get aggressive first, then call the police, and because the color of their skin make it seem like they were the aggressors. And depending on what police officer pulls up, they may or may not believe that. So I'm glad they got footage. But yeah, they was like, get off my porch, get off my porch, get off my porch. She act like she can't get up. Her husband came and he like trying to pick up and drag off the porch. She basically like fighting against them so she won't have to get up. I'm like, girl, you can get up. You need to get up and you need to go now. The boys just like, yeah, you just put your hands on me. I'm a minor. We all minors. Like, y'all gonna stop playing with people and getting handsy. I keep telling y'all need to keep some of y'all need to keep y'all hands to yourself. Getting physical is not always the answer to everything. Sometimes y'all need to learn how to take y'all verbal L in peace and go on about y'all day.
So this video has been all over TikTok. So this Karen, some white lady from upstate New York, I guess she somehow got into an argument with her teenage neighbors, two African-American boys, and she started arguing with them, and they were arguing back. They're basically telling her, go in the house, like, leave us alone. But she kept on, and then she gets to the point where she goes up on the porch, right? And she starts literally swinging at them. And if you listen, you hear one of the boys say, don't hit me, I'm going to lay you out. Or don't touch me. But that doesn't stop her. And to give you more of the backstory, her husband is the chief of police. And now, besides getting knocked the fuck out, which I just love, I love those videos, she's been criminally charged with 3 charges, aggravated third-degree harassment, trespassing, and something else. I forgot what it was. Her husband has been put on administrative leave. So not only did she get knocked the fuck out and get arrested, she got her husband suspended from work. You know what I find most interesting about these kind of clips is the audacity. You know, that is such a sign of privilege. You know, I don't care what color you are, I don't care who you are. What makes an adult think that you can walk up to people and just swing on them, and then you're not going to have any consequences? And I don't know, people may not agree with this opinion, but for me, it's worse with women, right? Because we are constantly preaching, don't hit women, don't abuse women. Women are victims of domestic violence. But I never understand the women that so freely swing on men, either their boyfriends, husbands, or strangers. Because men are physically stronger than women. And why shouldn't they swing back and knock you the f*** out? But in general, all adults should keep their hands to themselves. You can get into arguments. I've spent my life hurting people with my words. You don't have to swing on people to hurt them. But it's just so... There's so much privilege in that, right? That you actually think that you can walk up to people and hit them, invade their space, get in their face, and you're not going to have any consequences. And we see it all over the internet. So, this is definitely a around and find out moment for her. I hope she, now she has a record. I don't know if she had one before. You know, her husband looks stupid at work. And her husband was there. I don't know if you see the guy at the end of the video kind of dragging her off the porch. That's her husband. So he was smart enough to not be arguing with these kids. And not to let it go that far. If she got in an argument with them, what's the problem? But to let it go that far where you're swinging on them and getting in their face, that's too much. That is white privilege failed.
And to that woman who walked herself up on that porch, listen, you may discriminate, but these hands don't, okay? And that's exactly why your boyfriend had to drag you off that porch like a sack of potatoes, and that's exactly what you get. You ran up on that porch, but you didn't leave that way. See what happens when you don't mind your business? One day you're gonna meet your match, okay? And you almost met Jesus at the same time. They told her several times to go back in her house, and she did the complete opposite. The moment that you walked on that porch should have been the moment that you made peace with your God, because you was almost about to meet him. Two important hits happened, okay? She hitting them and she hitting that porch. The way they had you looking like you just was in a life alert commercials, you have fallen down and you can't get up. I bet you that's the first and last time that you will ever run up on anybody.
Okay, now that you've seen the videos and heard what people are saying, let's talk about it. So the woman in the video has been identified as Susan Rice. And the report says she's the girlfriend of a police chief whose name is Joseph Zikuski. And in the video, she can be seen walking up to her black neighbor's Porch, where two teens were standing, and the situation escalates really fast. She starts yelling at them and recording, and according to multiple reports, she actually hit one of them first. And the teenager then pushed her back in what looks like self-defense. And she fell and got injured. And it's hard to watch, but what's even harder to understand is why she walked up to their home in the first place, yelling things like, "We are the police," and throwing around remarks like Section 8, which a lot of people have pointed out sounds very classist and racially charged. And what makes this even more alarming is that she seems to feel entitled or protected because of her relationship with the police chief. And that's where people are drawing the line. Just because someone is dating an officer doesn't give them the right to throw their weight around or act like they are above the law. And the good thing is authorities are taking it seriously. And Susan Rice has been arrested and charged with trespassing, harassment, and endangering the welfare of a child. And the police chief himself has been placed on administrative leave while the matter is being investigated. Now, the teens involved are just 16 and 18 years old. And honestly, from what's being shown, they handled it better than most people would. And they didn't chase her or try to escalate. They stood on their own porch and tried to ignore her, first of all, until she got physical. And even then, it looks like they were just defending themselves. And it's sad to think that they couldn't even feel safe at their own front door. Now, let me be very clear. I don't support violence of any kind on this channel. But we also don't ignore context. When someone enters your space uninvited and starts swinging, it's only human to protect yourself, right? And this whole idea that someone can use their connection to law enforcement to intimidate others, that is definitely not okay. And it's an abuse of power, and it needs to be called out. Now, this story reminds us that entitlement and racism can show up in many forms, even on a neighbor's porch. And it's a good thing people are talking about it, because silence just allows these things to continue. And hopefully, this leads to real consequences and conversations around how communities handle these kind of incidences. Let me know what you think about this. Was this just another current moment taken too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real stories just like this. My name is Amy, this is Trending Pulse Worldwide, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay blessed.